There is currently a lot of controversy around the Detroit Lions. The Lions are coming off a tough loss at home on Thanksgiving against, of course, the Packers. Fuck the Packers. I'm still so mad about that loss. Jordan Love just decided to be good last week against the Chargers and this week against the Lions. I've never seen him throw the ball like that all season long, besides the last 2 weeks. And now the Hall of Fame comparisons are back. Also, it wasn't the Lions' fault that they lost that game. I blame the Moon and Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olsen. They've announced all 3 of our losing games. It's a bad loss for the Lions though, and it looks even worse when you look at the week prior. They barely snuck out a win against the Bears at home. There's a lot to take away from these past 2 weeks, and the biggest conversations are around the defense and Aaron Glenn. A lot of people have been outraged. They want Aaron Glenn to be fired. They asked for it last year. They asked for it during this past offseason. They asked for it after week 2 when the Lions gave up 30 points and lost to Seattle. In week 7 when the Lions gave up 38 points and lost to the Ravens. People were even asking for Aaron Glenn to be fired after we beat the Chargers week 10 because the defense gave up 38 points. And especially after Thanksgiving, the Lions gave up 29 points to Jordan Love and the Packers. Everybody wants Aaron Glenn to be fired. The first thing I have to say is, for the people that want Aaron Glenn to be fired like right now, this instant, I think you're a bit crazy. I don't think firing our defensive coordinator 12 weeks into the season would do really a lot of good. I just don't think that's the best idea, and there's no chance of that happening. If that happened, I would be very surprised. The next thing is that a lot of people only get outraged and want Aaron Glenn to be fired when we lose games. No one was upset when we only gave up 6 points to the Falcons, when we shut down the Bucks to only 6 points, when we held the Panthers to 24 points. I mean, a lot of their points were garbage time at the end. There's a lot of people that just get upset when the Lions lose and give up a ton of points. And I understand that, because then their argument is, well, the Lions can't shut down top tier quarterbacks. Sure, the Lions can take down Desmond Ridder and shut down Baker Mayfield, but when we play Justin Herbert or Lamar Jackson, we have no chance. And I agree. I don't think the Lions can stop super strong quarterbacks, especially consistently. I'd say our chances are very slim of having a great defensive game against quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Geno Smith. For the people that want Aaron Glenn to be fired because of this, I also think you're crazy, because what in the world do you want Aaron Glenn to do? Start with the defensive line. We can't do anything. Nothing's happening with our defensive line. You have Aiden Hutchinson out there, sure, but he's getting double teamed or held every single play. Every single play. No one else is getting pressure on that defensive line. We didn't sack Jordan Love once. Not once. Our run defense has improved a lot. I mean, it's been rough over the past few weeks, but overall, the season, our run defense is way better than it was last season. But our pass rush is non-existent. Jordan Love has all day. He could take a nap and then wake up and throw the football still. He has all day to throw. And at this point, it doesn't matter what quarterback we're playing against, because they have all day to throw. Eventually, they're going to tear us up. I think that's going to be the biggest thing during the offseason is we have to buff up our defense more. We need a stronger defensive line. I know Brad Holmes didn't make any trades at the deadline. We didn't want to get Chase Young because of issues with his personality and locker room presence and our culture, and I understand that. I guess we don't know until the end of the season if that was a mistake or not, but right now it's kind of looking like we could have used a little Chase Young. That kind of would have been nice. Then our linebackers, you have Campbell, which has been good but still a rookie. Alex Anzalone's had a great season but still not the strongest in coverage. Derek Barnes, he's not covering shit. Cameron Sutton is our only strong defensive secondary player, I would say. I think Cameron Sutton's our only near elite status cornerback. Brian Branch, again, still a rookie, a great player though. And then Kirby Joseph, young and inexperienced as well. And Jerry Jacobs. I'm sorry, but Jerry Jacobs is not covering shit at all. Whenever I watch the Lions, every single pass that's completed, just look who is covering them. It's always Jerry Jacobs. Now, I understand that it's not always who is closest to him. It's not always their fault because of zones and the defensive coverage, and maybe someone else was supposed to step in. but that's got to mean something. I mean, every time Jacobs is giving up a pass. So what do you want Aaron Glenn to do with this defense? We all know it. We miss Mosley. We miss CJ Gardner-Johnson. If we had those two players playing, it'd be a different story, I think. Injuries, it's unlucky, but I don't think firing Aaron Glenn is going to fix our lack of talent defensively. Also, with defenses, I think a lot of it is game to game. I think a defense can have a terrible game one week and the very next week be a lockdown defense. I say this because good defenses, I think, still have games where they give up a ton of points, or if it's just a shootout, you're not going to be able to stop a quarterback like Justin Herbert when he's already scored a touchdown in the last 3 drives. It's just going to continue to be a shootout. Obviously, though, better defenses still have more good games than bad teams. The Lions defenses had some good games this season, just not against any super strong offenses. Moving on to the second half of the Lions team, the offense, and there was quite a lot of problems over the past 2 weeks. First up is Jared Goff. Holy fucking shit. What has happened to Jared Goff? He was throwing picks like it was Christmas. Should have had 4 against the Bears. Was just dropping the ball, handing it to the Packers. It was terrible. It will be very interesting to see, can Jared Goff turn it around? I honestly don't think Jared Goff is going to be the Lions' long-term quarterback. I'm going to make another video on that. If Jared Goff can at least go back to his somewhat of his old self over the next few weeks, that'd be very reassuring, but I'm a little worried right now. A few weeks ago, I think it was after the Baltimore loss, I said I don't think Jared Goff, I don't want him to be our long-term quarterback. He's good, he's fine, but if he doesn't have protection in the pocket, which he didn't have a lot of that over the past 2 weeks, especially against the Packers, if he doesn't have a long time with no one coming at him to throw, he's not going to be able to be a consistent quarterback. He's just not good under pressure, and I don't think he's able to put a whole team on his back like Patrick Mahomes can do. Now, I'm not trying to hate on Jared Goff. I still like him as a quarterback, and he's good enough for the Lions. I mean, he's led them to be 8-3. Let's not overreact. A lot of people have overreacted with this Lions loss. I mean, they're 8-3. It's still a great record. There's still a lot of season left. We can get better. I mean, if we start dropping like 4 games in a row, I would be worried. But 8-3. 2 years ago, we won 3 games. Last year, we won 9 games after starting 1-6. We're 8-3. I think a lot of Lions fans just somehow got an expectation that we should win every single game, and then we lose 1 game. They're like, oh, now we're going to continue losing for the rest of the season. No, this is a new Lions team. I don't know. I think a lot of Lions fans just don't really know how to understand that we're 8-3. I think I'm a little bit this way too. We've never had a good football team that we've had confidence in, so when we lose, I think we're just let down, and some people just freak out. Anyway, last thing I'll say about Jared Goff, the picks, they were really bad, and then his fumble against the Packers, he just dropped the ball. He dropped the ball. That was horrible. And the last thing I want to talk about is our play calling. We go for it on 4th down a lot, which I like, but specifically this one time we went for it on 4th down against the Packers, the fake punt, horrible play call. Horrible play call. We were setting up the punt, and I said, if we fucking go for it here, we should not, I'm going to freak out. We should not go for it. And the Packers had a ton of players, and obviously they're all ready for it. And we went for it, and it didn't work out. Gave the Packers a short field. I think they turned it over on downs there, but still, it doesn't matter. You can't go for it in a situation like that when you're finally got yourself back into the game. You're deep in your own territory. I like us going for it on 4th down, but I feel like that was just not a smart way to do it. Against the Chiefs, that was very risky. We did the fake punt early in the game, but no one on earth was expecting it. The Packers there, they've seen the Lions tape. They know what we're capable of. They were definitely expecting that play there, and we just fed right into them. Also, I feel like when the Lions are losing, we start treating 4th down like we have to go for it. That's what it kind of feels like. It's weird because no other team really goes for it on 4th down that much. But against the Ravens, against the Patriots last year, this last week against the Packers, we're down by 2 scores and we're at midfield, or we're close to the red zone, or we can kick a field goal, and we go for it every single time. And when we're losing, we just get into this rhythm where we just keep turning the ball over on downs and ending drives when we could have punted to pin them deep. or we could have kicked a field goal, and I don't know, we just get in a rhythm where we just either convert quite a few first downs on 4th down, or we just get nothing on 4th down. Don't really know what to make of that yet. I just think it's interesting and something I've noticed. Might not make sense to you. I don't know. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of this video. If you enjoyed my content, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching.